Ring.
And where's your phone?
My phone is here.
Maybe let's hold it on like here so it picks up from us. Yeah. All right. It's just security guard. Someone tell him. Someone tell him.
No, we just started.
Okay. So we don't have much time.
We don't have much time.
We're being rules are rules.
Rules are rules. Welcome to the Urtbewi Banyan, Nadim Shehadi.
Exactly. Thank you.
A very spontaneous episode.
With a beautiful view.
With a beautiful view. I hope it's catching the view. Thank you for coming.
Ali.
You saw me, I think, a day after my surgery at Hotel Dieu.
Yes.
And 2 weeks later, you're here with me in Urtbewi.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy that we're going to be able to talk about two things which have nothing in common. My situation.
Yes.
And your recent Arab news piece. And we'll try to somehow merge the two together.
Yes.
Let's start with me, and then we'll go to 1983.
Yeah.
I want to say first and foremost, thank you for doing one thing. You were instrumental in how to deliver the news to my mom about what had happened. You helped me finesse a message that I don't think I would have been able to do otherwise effectively. And I owe that to you. So that's a gratitude. And I wanted to tell you this earlier. You made it easier. And this has been my lifestyle the last 2 weeks. Physio, medicine, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. cutoff, dinner at 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's a bit strict.
Wow. Yeah.
Too much.
But it's good for the soul.
It's good for the soul.
Suffering is part of, growing, Imam Hussein and Jesus Christ suffered for humanity. You are suffering now. There is a value.
Thank you for putting me up there with Imam Hussein and Jesus Christ. Here he comes. Well, let's see if he lets us stay or not. Yeah. So we have a security guard.
Security guard.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, keep going.
Yeah,
All right.
keep going.
You were at the Lokman Slim event today.
Yes, it was very, 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 very good. It was brilliant.
Could you tell me just a rough recap of what you took from that event?
Well, for me, it's the event itself. The fact that it was in the lawyers guild, in the Beirut lawyers guild, and the fact that there was so many people. It was hundreds of people, probably maybe 200 or a bit more. The minister was there. Minister of Justice.
Yeah.
And there were 4 or 5 speakers. But the main thing, and there were lots of people. I mean, I saw MPs, and it shows you how things have changed. This is the main takeaway, how things have changed, because in the beginning, we used to meet, there were a couple of dozen people. People were worried about showing themselves in Dahi, going to the house of the Slims. And now it's, there was one event in Biel and this event today, and the message is very strong. The message, I think, will have an effect. The message that we need some sort of justice.
I actually was going to go myself. I couldn't go for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
But do you feel like this event in 2025 is fundamentally different than years earlier?
Definitely different from 2023. No, after 2024, it was a bit. 2024 was more of a challenge.
Yeah.
It was, a defiance. It was. It felt stronger because there was still Hezbollah in town.
Yeah.
Now it's more of the result of that we are more relaxed. People are coming, MPs are coming, journalists, diplomats. There were lots of diplomats. It's a sign of the times.
Political assassinations and the attempt to, in a way, I guess the big message is to how to prevent them from carrying forward. It's less to do with retrospective justice. That's what I understood. that the
it's complicated.
Yeah.
All these things are complicated. Whether
Yeah.
you need the law, or I mean the dilemma between justice and law and retribution, all it's quite complicated. Yeah, that's.
I'll zigzag here, going from today's event back to 1983 and
Yes.
your recent Arab news piece. I've referred to 1983 myself several times, and that I don't know what it was like to live here in the
Yes.
summer of 1983, but I can imagine there are some similarities to what we're going through right now. And that, first and foremost, this was a post-war scenario where the state was being revitalized. It's also at a time where there were peacekeepers in the country
Right.
trying to resuscitate an otherwise failed
Most
state.
groups.
A Lebanese army that was being reconstituted, if that's a word.
Yeah.
And a moment, I think, of pause that people thought
A
perhaps
moment
the
of
Civil War-
international attention. There was
That's better said, yeah.
international after Lebanon had been on the back burner for a while. After the Israeli invasion and the exit of the PLO, there was more attention to the country.
And that attention, that focus on Lebanon,
Yes.
is exactly what's happening right now. We had Tom Barrack yesterday.
Interesting.
We've had Morgan Ortegas in and out.
Yes.
We've had also a recent push to get Lebanon out of its predicament, out of its, in many ways, its sub-state arms dilemma that it's been
Yes.
55 years.
I didn't think of that, but it is very similar. Yeah.
The similarities also, I think, psychologically, perhaps, that
It was a missed opportunity then, and
Yeah.
now we are close to making that decision.
But I understood that agreement is always a taboo in Lebanese discourse.
Yes.
That people are frown upon the May 17,
May 17th.
1983 agreement, this tripartite U.S., Israel, Lebanon thing that was meant to find a way for Lebanon to move on post-Israeli invasion.
Right.
As they left, Lebanon went south.
Yeah.
You advocate for something like that today. And I'd like to just understand why you're pushing for that arrangement right now.
Well, I mean, my proposal is very simple. We are at a standstill politically in the country, and we are losing credibility very fast because we have the best government you can ever have. We have a very competent government, and they are not able to show that they are doing something to get us out of this dilemma we are in, which is mainly related to the disarming of Hezbollah and related to an agreement, and which was not really that official. It doesn't have the official stamp. Last November, to apply 1701, which also is not an agreement for terminating. It's just the cessation of hostilities, which is less than a ceasefire and less than ending state of war. So Lebanon declared war on Israel in 48, but has never undeclared the war.
Yeah.
Not there. So the 17th of May agreement is a state to state. It was negotiated by one of our top diplomats and lawyers. Some of them are in government now.
Which lawyer is that?
Well, Antoine Fattal, who's passed away, was our top diplomat then. But I think Nawaf Salam was part of the team that was advising the government
I didn't know that.
At the time.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure, but I think he was part of that circle. He was not far from. And it had parliamentary approval. There were, I think, 77 deputies alive at the time. Only 2 voted against.
Right.
And 3 abstained.
So there was the government, the Amin Jumail government.
Did it through the right channels, state to state, with American supervision. So the on the table there was an American diplomat.
Philippe.
No, not Philip Habib. It was Morris Draper,
Yeah.
and there was Antoine Fattal, and David Kimchi, who was the from the foreign ministry in Israel on the Israeli side. And so that agreement, which was in a way very favorable to Lebanon, and done through the right channels, is the only official document we have.
Right.
And I think, to put it very simply, I think it would be impossible in the current climate inside the country to start a process again now, that kind of process now. But the government can pull it out of the drawer and put it on the table as something to build on. So you save at least 2-3 years.
Was it I don't know the word, annulled by the Lebanese
Yes,
state?
it was signed by the Lebanese state, by the negotiators, and approved by parliament. But President Amin Jumail annulled it.
He annulled it himself.
Yes, and I think it went through a parliamentary process of annulment. I'm not sure of the exact detail. But Elie Salem, our former foreign minister, who was foreign minister at the time, so there was Elie Salem, there was Ghassan Touaini as an advisor to Jumail, and there was Amin Jumail. We really had very competent people on the Lebanese side, and they got. I mean, the terms we got, for example, on the maritime border, are much better than what we have now.
Oh, really? In 1983?
In 1983, we would have had most of Qarish with us.
Oh, wow.
According to those negotiators. And the rumor, I mean, it's not a rumor, I mean, from the memoirs of people who were there, the Israeli negotiator, David Kimchi, was very sympathetic to the Lebanese side. First of all, because of the personality of Antoine Fattal, who was francophone, a bit like David Kimchi. And so David Kimchi was born is Swiss, and went to England, lived in England, and studied in France. So he was a bit cosmopolitan, and a similar culture to Fattal, and he was accused by Prime Minister Begin at the time and by Ariel Sharon of being too sympathetic to Lebanon. That's one of the anecdotal stories, and one of the anecdotes is that they asked his assistant then to take the room next to him in the hotel and make a hole inside the cupboard to spy on him. But these are just anecdotal details, and I'm sure we can dig up a lot more stories from both sides. But it's not what's important. What's important is that internally, Lebanon, the Lebanese government, the President of the Republic, the Prime Minister, and the Speaker of Parliament have the option of putting this on the table, which would be a shortcut to a huge amount of discussion internally that would create the climate for negotiations after Hezbollah, has been faced with this defeat. We are negotiating with Hezbollah, and we are applying an agreement with Israel at the same time, and it doesn't add up for the Lebanese government to negotiate with Hezbollah while their only leverage is the threat of an Israeli attack. It triggers Hezbollah the wrong way and makes them make the declarations that we see, which that we'll never give up. We are there.
Yeah.
So Hezbollah has to give up its arms, but it has to give it internally in Lebanon through an internal process within the party, an internal process within the community and the supporters, and through an internal process with the Lebanese government. If the Israelis are part of the discussion, then it makes it almost impossible.
1983 compared to today, my understanding of this agreement is the focus had nothing to do on Lebanese sub-state groups. That it was just
it was the PLO.
It was the PLO and a complete disinterest in other groups within
Of
the
course,
country.
yes.
Fast forward to today.
But you see, the most important part is that the elements of the agreements on the border are still the same. There are some changes, but and lots of the complicated issues have been resolved in 1983, which would save you a lot of time now, and it's impossible to take the initiative.
Yeah.
And frankly, I mean, Hezbollah deserves to maintain its status as a resistance, because it did resist Israeli occupation for over 20 years. Well, depending on how you count it, but there was an Israeli occupation for 22 years, and they were a major part of the opposition. And you can't rob them of this at the same time. You have to acknowledge this. Even if you don't believe it, you have to acknowledge it.
But in that's more narrative in a way.
That's internal narrative.
That's internal.
That's internal.
Now we're in July 2025, and there has been no push for that internal disarmament to actually move forward. There's been delays of always references to a timetable that doesn't exist.
Right.
And also, even with pressure to move this thing forward, there has been reluctance by Hezbollah too, to actually go down this
declared reluctance. We don't know what's happening on the ground, and we are told that on the ground 80% of the arms have been
but my bigger question is, in 1983, what looked like a potential end to the civil war and a moving on of sorts led to civil war once more in 1984.
Yes, there was Syrian involvement.
Yeah.
There were lots of factors we were not aware
and the
of.
Israelis never effectively left. They went
No,
south.
the Israelis. No, it's not only that. The Israelis basically annulled the agreement by adding. That's in Eli Salem's memoirs. They added conditions that were not part of the agreement. They added conditions that Israel would only withdraw if Syria withdraws.
But that kind of conditionality, now we have conditionality by Hezbollah once more, and that's familiar. The Israelis have to leave first for Hezbollah to disarm.
But that's only because of the current mechanism where Hezbollah is part of the negotiation with the Israelis. If you separate them, the matter of Israeli withdrawal is a matter between the Lebanese state and the Israeli state.
And then Hezbollah becomes
and
internal.
Hezbollah is a fully internal matter.
So let me wrap it up then with that internal matter. I'm not too optimistic about this happening now. The full disarmament of all sub-state groups. And you mentioned the competency of the government. Yes, they're competent in doing, I think, everything else, not this one major subject. And I think
But that's the only subject that's necessary.
That's the only subject that I think matters in this climate right now. It's not being met. Would you go that far in that kind of bleak assessment that they're not?
Yes, even worse than that.
Yeah.
But it's all about optics.
Yeah.
The Lebanese government is losing credibility.
Yeah.
And because it has it doesn't seem to have an initiative. I'm sure that in the background they're doing a lot of stuff, but the optics are very important, and for the government to be seen as having an initiative put on the table, which would put Israel on the defensive, because the Israelis will start negotiating from a higher level of the agreement. Is an important break, and it would take a long time for us to reach that stage now, and at the time it was Assad rightfully, probably from his perspective, rejected the agreement because he was afraid that if the Israelis withdraw, the Lebanese would start asking for the Syrians to withdraw.
Right.
Which is in fact what happened in 2000 when
Yes.
when the Syrians withdrew. That's
When
when
the Israelis withdrew.
when the Israelis withdrew. Sorry, when the Israelis withdrew, that's when Samir Asir and the bishops and Ernest Shahwain
Yes.
and all these people started calling for
Hariri.
and Hariri. Yes, so that's the main point is that we need to do something.
But what is the likelihood for you that the Lebanese state reconsiders the 1983 agreement? For me, I can't see that happening. Even if you've made the case for that kind of arrangement,
Yeah.
I don't see this government going down that road.
I don't know. I mean, this is just an opinion piece
Yeah,
which I
that's
came
true.
up with and I thought about, and I'm putting it on the
Yeah,
table. But
fair enough.
of course, I have no influence, and no, I haven't discussed it with anyone. So,
Well, thank you for discussing it with me.
You're welcome.
Let's take a few minutes now just to let's mention this place and the view.
It's so beautiful, yeah.
Right? I put you on the spot. I literally asked my friend Laura, who's behind the
In
camera.
fact, the view that I have is as beautiful as the view behind me.
It's the sweet talker, Nadim Shehadi, with the heart sign from Laura.
Yeah.
I have to admit, the last 3 weeks,
Yeah.
whether it was Hotel Dieu or here at Ortbewi, with this view,
Yeah.
I haven't looked at the news. I've
Right.
heard the news from other people.
Yes.
I haven't checked rigorously what's happening, and it's quite disappointing that 3 weeks later, it's more or less where things are.
You didn't miss anything.
Yeah,
But the one thing you missed was Tom Barrack's speech, which I'm sure you've heard of.
yeah,
And that was an important speech. I mean, it had many messages
yeah.
in it. The most important one, I think, and I heard it after I had written my first draft, is that he does separate the discussion of Hezbollah as an internal Lebanese matter.
That's true. Yeah,
And I think it strengthens Hezbollah and strengthens Lebanon. Hezbollah to find because I don't think Hezbollah has a choice anymore. It's physically can't do it. It may not have the Iranian support, and Iran has let it down. So they need a way out with their constituency internally internal discussions are important in this case, and sometimes an external intervention could hinder the internal discussion.
Yeah.
Because if it looks like the Lebanese government is executing Israeli demands, it's a bit like what's happened to the Palestinian Authority.
yeah. In the West Bank.
The Palestinian Authority lost credibility with the population.
Yeah.
Because it looked like its security forces were executing arrests on behalf of Israel, and when they failed to do that, the Israelis will intervene. So they were even failing to protect the population. Yeah. So you don't want to get into a situation where you're as bad, where your reputation is as bad as the PA.
Yeah.
We're close to that, I mean, this is truly a chance that may never be repeated, because we do have a very competent government, and they're in sync with each other. The three, the executive and the legislative and the
No, the
presidency.
speaker is not in sync with.
Well, they are. They're still talking to each other.
They talk to each other.
There are tensions.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's fine.
Right.
I mean, the worst, when people talk about tension between the president and the prime minister and the speaker of parliament, I see it as a positive matter. The worst is when the three agree. That's
I'll take a moment now to thank Laura Khouri. Laura, I want
Thank
you to
you,
stand up here with us. Laura is a nurse practitioner
absolutely
in the making. She's
Yes.
in the States studying. She popped into Lebanon for a visit. Stay here, stay with me a second. She popped in for a visit to
Yes.
take a break from,
right. And
from
look
nursing.
what she's done.
Not just me,
Yes.
also. relatives as well of hers. She's been in hospitals since she arrived.
Right.
So I'd like to thank you for
You're welcome.
also helping do this episode. Nadim,
I'm glad.
I insist that you hold the record forever. That's why we did this.
Oh, I see.
I can't let anyone else get ahead. So you can remain the record keeper in 2025 in a hospital.
Yeah, but this
above-
is exceptional. This is a
exceptional.
global record. This
That's
is,
true.
You know, yes, this
That's
is
true.
global first, I think.
You're absolutely right. Thank you, Laura.
In podcasting history, it's a global first.
Nadim Shehadi, thanks once more.
Thank you.